Good morning, everyone. This is Rick Alberty, and I'm the Executive Director of ChamberSouth. And we're here today for another Spotlight. What is it? ChamberSouth Spotlight segment. And who are we with today? We're with Nelson Lopez. I call him Nelly because everyone calls him Nelly, with Lending with Nelly. How are you, Nelly?
How you doing, Rick?
I'm doing fantastic, man.
Good to hear.
So, who is Nelly?
Wow. Nelly is a 54-year-old, May 22nd Gemini.
All right.
We rule. Just going through new career change and trying to make it happen. So Lending with Nelly has been going up for the last 5 years, and slowly but surely the branding has been taken off.
Now, did you grow up here in Miami, Nelly?
I was born in Lakeland, Florida. From there, I went to Venezuela, lived for 7 years, and then came back down to Lakeland for a year, and then came to Miami, followed my mom and my brother.
Okay.
Been here for 42 years.
Okay. And what did you do when you went to school? After school, what did you do?
I started working at the age of 13.
Okay.
I signed myself off, work release, not my mom or my dad. So I was in West Miami Junior High. At the age of 13, work release. From there, here I am, 54 years old and hustling still.
And why Lending with Nelly? What is Lending with Nelly?
Lending with Nelly is a broker shop that was built by myself, meaning when I started navigating through this whole business of commercial properties, from commercial to
Yeah, I guess you do residential also.
residential. That's where I was messing up right now with residential. There was so many intricate parts to it that me navigating it for 4 or 5 years, trying to find the best fit for me. And here I am just by myself, and slowly but surely I'm building up a team.
Okay. But why did you feel that it was necessary for you to get into that field? Because I guess you saw a fit, a need. What did you see there?
I had a couple of friends that were trying to pry me away from where I was working at. It took me probably about 5 years to really listen to them, because my actual network is really pretty big. So they know I'm a trusted person. Me being in that market, I could benefit and make good play moves and also help clients.
Okay, so where did you work before? Did you work in the financial field?
I didn't work in the financial field. I worked in a construction / marketing / management / multifamily. So I worked for Newport Construction. That's an A-Rod Corp string of different businesses that Alex has.
So you already had a lot of experience going into what the home business market was, what the construction market was, what the business market was. And I guess that's what led you to also, you're part of the Latin Builders Association.
Yes.
Am I correct? Tell me
Yes,
about
sir.
that.
I've been a director for the Land Builders for 10 years. I started off as a director with Newport Construction, A-Rod Corp. Now I'm director with Lending with Nelly with the Land Builders as a director in not sales, but anyone that has to come or wants to know about the LBA contacts me. I give them the whole rundown of what we do, how we do it, and once they understand the networking, how it works, then they, how would I call it? Not generate, but they get excited of learning how to network, because you cannot just go there and stand there. You won't know. You get lost. And a lot of our association members, they get spooked out and like get scared when you have 300, 400 people in one room. You get scared. So that's when I go bring them along. Hey, this is so-and-so, or this is so-and-so. You guys should meet up, and so forth.
So you do a lot of what I do at the LBA. You help people learn how to network. Number one, you learn how to teach people how to meet people, and you introduce people. At Chamber South, my responsibility is to take new members and introduce them to new ones. Make them feel at home, make them feel welcome. One of the things that I tell all of my new members is remember, because a lot, you said something key. A lot of people don't know how to network.
No.
A lot of people get scared. They see a room full of 300 people and they said, now what? They go against the wall. They stand against the wall. They don't talk to anybody. And some of the
Standoff,
things,
yep.
yeah. And what I tell a lot of the folks is remember that everybody inside this room is here to meet people just like you.
Yep.
So it's easy to break the ice when you have something like that. Okay. So what made you drive to the decision, I'm going to go into business for myself and it's going to be in the financial field to help people either get a loan or get a mortgage or sift through the issues of how to get a mortgage? What made you do that?
Good question, Rick. The reason I went on my own is I was already partnered with a couple of different branches, and they really weren't giving their clients the white glove service, or I didn't think they were really being treated the right way. So slowly I started navigating with the good, the bad, the ugly, the non, and slowly I just started getting into one piece. I'm at one piece now. So one piece for me is me running the show, me calling the shots, me telling me where I'm going to go, where I'm not going to go, because I already know where I'm going to go. So I'm focused and knowing what I got to do, how I'm going to do it, and when. So all that has to come this way.
And what is the key client that should be looking for lending with Nelly? Should it be the big one for the $5 million home, or should it be one for 400,000, or could it be both, or is it a large contractor?
The key is when you're ready to purchase, when you're ready to invest, when you're ready to get your second property, I will help you get there. Those are the clients I want. That they come, listen, I have a situation. What do you think? Those are the clients I want. The ones that ask.
Why should they go with Nelly?
Well, Nelly is a go-to guy, very loyal, and he has a lot of programs that a lot of other banks, a lot of other brokers don't have.
So you're telling me that you can do the traditional loan, you can do possibly hard money loans, you could do all kinds of different types of loans for folks that are looking for some type of financial help to get a first home, second home,
Yes.
or a building, a commercial building.
Anything that's collateralized, I could help you out with.
What do you mean by collateralized? Why don't you let the people know what that means?
Building, it's a building. Anything that it's an asset, building, shopping center, a home, a duplex, a multifamily. I could lend you money on those assets.
Okay, there's a lot of people out there that will be looking at this and they're saying, God, I'd love to get my first home. What should I do to make the process easy? Is a credit score important? Do I have to have $30,000 in the bank? Do I have to have a large down payment? What is it that they should do to prepare themselves to be successful to attain a loan?
Credit is very important. You have to protect your credit. That's number one. Key is also have a job for 2 years, or if not, you could use 12 months as a bank statement if you're only having 1 year. Very important that your financials always be in line. Financials back and forth, then there's triggers back and forth, conditions. You don't want to see conditions. You want to be as clear as you can in your files.
How about tax returns?
Tax returns too. Tax returns, you should have good tax returns. If you're making cash and you don't apply to it, then if you come to me and say, listen, I only make $30,000 a year, but you made $70,000 in cash, it doesn't jive. It won't work.
So some people, unfortunately, in South Florida, you and I both know because we've been around,
Yeah.
they make a lot more money than what they report on their taxes.
Right.
Beneficial at the time because you're putting money back in your pocket, but how can that harm someone when they want to get financial loans to either purchase a property or purchase a business?
Right. 20 years ago, a home in Miami was $150,000, correct? So you could qualify making $30,000, $40,000. Fast forward to 2025, that 150 now costs 700. Before you needed 30 to qualify. Now you need 125, 150 to qualify for that $700,000 property, because you not only gonna have that under your belt, you might have a car, might have other different expenses that your ratio will keep going up.
Yeah, so you have a car, you have insurance, you have, you know, all kinds of expenses. People think that South Florida is a place that is not expensive to live. What are your thoughts there?
Very expensive. Very expensive. It's pricing out a lot of mid-level players. The median, if you live by yourself, you really need to make over $150,000 to live in our city.
You know, that's amazing. I remember growing up, and I grew up in Miami. I grew up in Hialeah. My mom and my dad bought their first home back in probably 1965 for $13,000, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath in Hialeah. And Hialeah at the time was not Hialeah of today. There was probably 10 homes in the entire block, maybe 8 to 10 homes. It was just being built up, brand new, never. That home today, they do want about $600,000 or $700,000, which is ridiculous because you and I both know a lot of the piping in those homes are old metal piping in the bottom that needs to be redone.
Erosion, yeah.
The floor needs to be redone. The construction. How are construction prices going today? Are they still rising, especially now with the tariffs and everything that's happening?
There's a lot of pricing that are still going up. Tariffs did hurt a couple of construction developers of our friends. Also construction guys. Are they complaining? Absolutely. But the prices have to keep being standard, you know. Prices like in Cape Coral right now, a house could have been that 400,000 3 months ago. Now it's at 370.
So they're beginning to drop
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. The market has really slowed
Leveled
down for the sellers. It's not a seller's market. It's a buyer's market now.
See, that's interesting. And to be honest with you, I think it's time. To be honest with you, I think it's time that it levels out, because the people that are suffering, there's a lot of people coming in from New York, California, still people from other countries that have a lot of money. But the people that are, I'm going to say, have been living here for a while, that still haven't made that 200, 300,000 a year, 150,000 a year, those are the ones that are being priced out.
They're priced out. They're getting pushed out.
Yeah, they're getting pushed out. And then what's going to happen to this economy? That's why I drive by some homes and I see 7 cars parked in front of the parking lot.
That's what you have it.
So why do you think that happens there?
Because you have 4 or 5 people making money and helping the cause. The owner, it's a $4,000 mortgage. He has 4 people living in his 4-bedroom house, charging $1,000 each. There's where you have your 4,000.
Okay, let's get back to Lending with Nelly. Tell me about what is the benefit of me going to Lending with Nelly than me going to Bank of America to get a mortgage?
There's so many different brokers in Miami that are good, and there's a lot of brokers that are really, really bad. So I've navigated myself through all these new and outs and ins, and I think my fit in this city it's excellent because I'm loyal, I'm open, I'm transparent. I'm a people person, and I give white glove service. And my programs are, I got a bunch of lenders that could lend money.
And I know that honesty is your best policy, because I know that some people have reached out to you and said, "What should I do here?" And it may not be what they want to hear, but you're honest and tell them, do it, don't do it, get out, buy it, put this amount down. So you're also there to help the business person or the individual to get what they're looking for.
The guide, I'm not going to get the ultimate decision, but I'm going to help them to the right one.
How about fraud in your business?
There could be a lot, and I've seen it, not around me in my circle, but I hear about it. I get scenarios thrown my way. I think I was fishing one day and I got a call about a deal in Naples, that it was too good to be true. So I had to follow up and do my due diligence. And sure enough, it was a fraud.
Yeah. So what happens if, let's say I call you and I tell you I have a home I want you to sell? You've got to do your homework on me and on the home and make sure that everything lines up.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Why?
Because if you go down that line and you do everything correctly, you get your title insurance, you get everything, and the transaction passes and something pops up, you already did your homework. You went through the vetting, you went through title insurance, you did it all. Now, if you don't do any of that and you just want to go, hey, I think this guy's good, and you do all that transfer, then
that's where you could fall.
That's where you're going.
I'm going to ask you a question. Rent or buy right now in May of 2025 in Miami?
Buy.
Why?
If you're going to rent, you're throwing money out. Prices of homes are still going to be the same in 6 months. I say that. Interest rate is still going to be, interest rate is going to go low. No matter what, we're going to see interest rate in the 6s, hopefully in the 5s within 6 months to a year. That's what I think. So if you buy now, refi in a year.
But when you refi, don't you have to pay closing costs again?
I'll help you with that.
Let me ask you another question. What is an ARM? Would you explain to the folks what an ARM is?
An ARM is an extension of a loan that if you, let's say you get a 3-year ARM.
What is an ARM? What does it stand for?
ARM is an extension of the interest rate.
Is it an adjustable rate mortgage? Is that
adjustable rate mortgage.
So correct. That adjustable rate mortgage, instead of a fixed rate mortgage, what's the difference?
Fluctuates. If the interest rate goes up, you're going to be paying a lot more.
Fixed for a certain amount of time, and then it can go up.
3 years.
So
3 years adjustable, 27 fixed.
So that means if I get a 3-year, I'll call it ARM.
Correct.
That means that in the first 3 years, if the interest rate goes up, your interest rate goes up. If the interest rate goes down, your interest rate goes down.
That's correct.
Is there some that are fixed for 3 years and then become fixed at whatever rate it is at the end of the 3-year term?
I'm not aware of that.
No?
No, not aware of that program.
I didn't know, because I know
there's certain programs out there that do, but there's so many programs out there, Rick, that
What would you recommend today, knowing the administration that is in the office right now, how the economy is, what you forecast in the future? Should I get a fixed rate mortgage? Should I get an adjustable rate mortgage? What should I do?
Fixed rate. Buy and go fixed rate, because in 7 months to a year, you could refi again.
Is the standard still 20% down?
No. The standard for
to buy a home right now,
if you don't want mortgage insurance, 20% is what you need.
If you don't want mortgage insurance.
That's correct.
If you don't mind, you can still do 10%?
You could do 10%, you could do 5%, you could do 3% FHA as your first-time home buyer.
How you just said something, first-time home buyer. Is the first-time home buyer, does that mean you got to be the 20-year-old, or could you be a 50-year-old?
You could be your 50-year-old first-time home buyer.
How?
How can you?
Mm-hmm.
Because that'll be your first time.
How about if I bought a home back in 1995?
No, I'll be your second home.
It'll still be your second home.
Second home.
So you will not qualify for a first-time home buyer.
That's correct.
Doesn't matter what. That's good that you're clearing that up for the folks, because some people have this illusion that you can buy a home and then, okay, I didn't buy anything for 10 years. I'm going to buy my first new home. No, doesn't work that way. No. But let me ask you another question. I'm married, and I married my wife, and we bought our first house under both our names. We're both first-time home buyers.
That's correct.
If the home only went under my name, not hers, something happens, we get divorced, she wants to buy a home in the future, she'll be her first home-time buyer.
That's correct.
That's crazy.
Crazy, but that's how it is.
So there's a lot of checks and balances that you have to do to be able to find someone the proper loan.
Correct.
Okay. Now, how long does it take to close on a home?
If you're on a purchase, not to push, everybody's going their own speed and everything, 30 days. We give you 30 days.
Okay. And I'm going to go buy a home for the first time. I'm going to give 20% down. What else do I have to pay? Do I have homeowners insurance? I have to pay a closing cost.
There's closing costs. There's homeowners. Unless you don't want to receive escrows, you pay them out, meaning your taxes and insurance outside of escrows. You're good with that. But you got to pay your taxes, your insurance, your prepaids, your
all of that you have to pay at closing.
At
closing.
Yes, sir.
So then it's not just a 20% down.
No.
It could be as high as 30% down, or
it could be if you're putting 25, probably 5% of the loan amount.
Wow. You know, there's a lot of little things that a lot of youngsters need to know about when they're going to go buy a home. It's not, you got to make sure you have your money. You have your ducks in a row and everything
lined
else.
up, everything lined up, because this is, you're trusting me with your biggest asset.
You're absolutely correct. Now, let me ask you one more question. You're part of the LBA, which is the Latin Builders Association. Mm-hmm. You own your own business. You joined ChamberSouth. Why did you join ChamberSouth also?
Because of the president, Rick Alberty.
Oh, God. Thank you, Nelly. But do you feel like you're getting value from ChamberSouth?
I'm here.
You're absolutely correct.
I'm here. I really, once I saw you making that move, and then I said, I'm going to be a trustee with you, because you do open up avenues for everyone. And that's what I do. So I want to go behind someone that opens up doors, because I open up doors. Yeah. And I make everybody feel warm, make everybody, like, I want everybody to feel good in Miami. Not everybody that comes to Miami feels good here.
No, there's no doubt.
Well,
I agree with you, Nelly. And, and I really appreciate your support of ChamberSouth. You're a big asset to us. And, I try to make you feel at home. I try to make new members feel at home, just like you do to the people that come to Lending with Nelly. So thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it. On 3, we're going to close out with that camera.
Thank you, Rick.
1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you.